All right. Welcome to the 2023 C3 Tech Summit here at DeVos Place. So happy that all of you could join us. Hope you had a great breakfast. If you're just coming in, I'm Ryan Dengate, Director of Engineering. I've been here for 5.5 years now. I remember my first conversation with Matthew as we were talking about me coming on board, and he asked me, like, what do you want to do? And I want to build stuff. I want to go out there and help all of you figure out the best technology, the best processes to help your people succeed. So whether you're in contact center or security, infrastructure, we've got a little bit or a lot of everything for everybody. So our theme this year is going beyond technology, and that's just what it is. It's the tech is cool, all of that's great, but at the end of the day, it's about making everybody's lives a little bit better, a little bit more efficient. A lot of great content, but first we're going to hear from our founder and CEO, Matthew Toth. So please put your hands together for a warm welcome, and let's get started.
Oh my goodness. You know, it was like 9 years ago that me and Tim came here, and we're like, maybe one day we'll be big enough to where we'd actually need a space this big. I'll first off start by just saying thank you to all of you for being here. Today, there's about 400 people that will be in attendance. We have 64 sponsors. We have 25 breakout sessions. We have 2 keynote speakers and a partridge in a pear tree. I want to talk a little bit about the journey as well. There's a few customers that I wanted to give a quick little thank you to, and there are some of those OG customers from way back in the day. Paul and Laura are in the corner from Bissell, and Nick is here from Summit Palmers, and even Joe is here from Century Medical. Without early adopters, this never happens. This is not something that actually works. It never happens. So I am forever grateful to all of you. And speaking of that journey, in 2013, there were 2 of us. In 2018, there are 11 of us. And today, there are 37. And I'm so excited to see what happens after that. It's gonna be a fun journey. I really promise. Thanks. I appreciate that. I'm gonna start with a personal but kind of crazy story. And it's about our roots. And I promise you, ChatGPT did not write it. In 2002, one of the largest frauds in history is exposed. It sends shockwaves through the American financial system. It takes down one of the largest auditing firms in the world. It changes accounting law. And I had a front row seat for this. Now, why does this matter? Well, I don't think I'm here. I don't think you're here. I never find my why. This is one of those things where, kind of chain reaction happens, but this is where it starts. And it starts at this company called WorldCom in 2000. Now, for all of you that don't remember 2000 very well, that was the coolest cell phone that you could buy. 58% of people didn't have internet yet. And Brad and Jen were together. Brad dumped Jen for Angelina Jolie. I mean, she wore blood in a vial, and she made out with her brother. That puts you in the Weirdo Hall of Fame. So, but WorldCom was founded in 1983 by Bernie Ebbers, and he was a former gym owner and a former high school gym teacher and a motel owner. He got with a couple partners, and he created a long distance business in 1983. Now, for all of you that are under the age of 32, long distance is when you make a call, and the cost of it is never mind. Anyway, for about 10 years or so, it was a sleepy company, small acquisitions, small revenue. But what's interesting is that in the 90s, they made 65 acquisitions in 6 years. 65. That is about 1 per month for 6 full years. Now, what's interesting is this is one of my favorite sayings. If someone shows you who they are, believe them. This was Bernie's boat. So it was called acquisition. We all saw this coming. So how did this actually work? Well, it's interesting. Month over month, quarter over quarter, they cooked the books. They inflated earnings. They used those earnings to pump up their stock price. And then based upon that stock price, they acquired all of these technology companies, one after the other after the other. They didn't use cash because Bernie and his founders were not independently wealthy. They didn't have a whole bunch of money, but they had to concoct a scheme to buy all these companies. And that was the way to do it. It's one of the reasons why accounting law is different today. It's the reason why you have Sarbanes-Oxley. I'm kind of the reason why Sarbanes-Oxley is a thing. Not me, just to be clear. So what's interesting is you have these 65 companies, because they're bought in such rapid succession, none of them are integrated together. So what ends up happening? Rampant fraud, revenue shifting from one company to the next. It permeated every corner of that organization. I remember the regional sales director bribing the commissions analyst for better commissions. I remember being offered $4,500 commission for a sale that I didn't even make. Sales reps made tens of millions of dollars. Executives made hundreds of millions of dollars. At one point in time, Bernie Ebbers is worth $1.4 billion. At WorldCom's height, it's worth $175 billion. Now, to put that in perspective, today, Cisco is worth slightly more than $200 billion. That is how big WorldCom was. In the late 90s, they were one of the most valuable companies in the world. In 2002, it collapsed. Why? Well, someone actually started digging around in their numbers, and auditors and accountants found that they had been cooking the books for a long time, and it collapsed. The CFO was fired. The CEO, Bernie Ebbers quit, and he ended up spending most of the rest of his life in prison. The court system took away his entire fortune, amassed hundreds of millions of dollars, and the court system left his wife with $50,000 and took away everything else and gave it to defrauded investors. He went to jail, like I said. He just passed away a couple years ago. So for myself, I left in 2002. I left after $11 billion in earnings had to be restated. Not in revenue, $11 billion in earnings. That's a big number. That's a big, big number. I'll never forget walking out of that building with all my stuff and just looking at this building where I'd worked for 2.5 years, and I was like, there was 150 people. There were 150 families that were here. And when I left, there were about 12 people that worked in that building. And it was sad, but it's something that shaped me. And I thought to myself, you know what, goodness can come from this, and it did. And I thought to myself, what is it that I want? What is it that I shouldn't be? What is it that I should be? And I thought to myself, you know what, if I ever started a company, we would just do simple things, the things you're supposed to do, the things that I found to be absent at WorldCom. And this is a list. Treat people well. Be honest with each other. The growth of our company not coming from mergers and acquisitions and PE firms, but by doing the right things. And by doing the things we'll say we're going to do. And intensely focusing on the success of other people. And focusing on long-term growth and not cutting corners and not doing any shortcuts. So, 15 years ago, I started C3. I didn't look like that, but it looked something like that. And I started C3 to solve a purchasing problem. Because I remember being a sales guy. And I remember thinking to myself, I would go sell whatever is in my bag. And oftentimes I didn't even believe in what I was selling. And my hope is that when I gave you a presentation and I gave you a proposal, that I hope that you wouldn't find something better. That was my hope. It didn't feel good. And that always stuck with me. So today, C3 creates formal and informal RFPs to coordinate and run a data-driven buying process. I don't think you need salespeople. I think you need partners. And that was the idea in mind when we started this, that we are a partner with our customers, to challenge your notions, to tell if we really think that you're wrong, to challenge you. One of my engineers, Joe, is really good at that. He's going to get a good smile out of that. It can be really uncomfortable, but you know what? It's a process that we believe in. We're here to make your decision-making really, really good. We might even recommend a vendor that doesn't make Gartner's Magic Quadrant. Oh my goodness. In the end, we are here to be a executive's #1 resource for making effective technology purchases. And that technology does move really fast. So, because every once in a while, you come across companies that don't match the hype. You're like, I don't get it. And sometimes these companies, like some of these up here, they don't pan out. And we want to make sure that we're helping protect our customers from organizations, from technology that just doesn't pan out, because we have that insider view on it. Because when you hear their sales pitches, you should treat it like that. So think of us like a technology Sherpa, the guy that says, yeah, that technology peak over there, don't go up there. That's where dead people go. That's the kind of stuff that we're doing. And you know what? It feels good. It feels honest. I don't have to look at myself and say, I hope they find something better. I feel very good about that. So for all of you today, what am I asking of you? You're here to network, to learn, to discover some of your aha moments, whatever they may be. We're going to focus on AI, cybersecurity, and contact center, and the intersection of these things over the next day and a half. For AI, ChatGPT came out, OpenAI released this about a year ago, and it really kicked off this tidal wave of investment. And now a lot of our clients, the whole landscape is like, this whole AI thing is out there, I don't know what to do with it. I'm hoping that we can provide some insight on this technology, compliance, not only the technology itself, but even compliance and risk and a couple other things. But I will say this, it is about going beyond the technology. It is also about your people, your process. It's about building competitive advantages against your competitors. Now, many of you come from different backgrounds, but all of you face a lot of these similar challenges. Talent shortages, increased threats, and pressure to do more with less. So I encourage you to strike up conversations with your peers, with thought leaders, with industry experts, and talk about what's possible and expand your mind. And when I put expand your mind into ChatGPT, it said I should put that image. So I'd like to thank our team. There we go. I'd like to thank our team. Our organization does an extraordinary job when we do this every year. It goes off without a hitch every single year. I am forever grateful for being in the presence of such an awesome team. I truly thank God for the opportunity to work with all of you. It is humbling to be a part of such an awesome team. And I take all of your successes seriously and personally. When I think about my organization, I think about this last few lines of a poem, and I tell all of my folks that I have many promises to keep to all of you, and I do intend on keeping them. So I would like to officially welcome you to the C3 Tech Summit.